Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast, where we discuss and celebrate some of our favorites in TV and film. I am your host, Xavier, and as always, I am joined by my fellow Popcorn Watchlist panelists, Anthony, Danny, and Zach. And today, we're actually going to switch it up a little bit, switch up the vibe from talking about, current things that we may have seen or watched or want to watch to some news that just broke a little while ago as of this podcast recording. Surrounding all the hype around none other than Avengers Doomsday. First, we got all the crazy hype because RDJ is coming back, but not as Tony Stark, but as Victor Von Doom somehow. Everybody's all speculating and everything.
Returned.
Yeah, somehow RDJ has returned.
The dead speak.
So it's gotten kind of wild to think like, oh, what's the movie going to be about? How's this going to play around? And, a little while ago, Marvel treated us to a really interesting release of some of the cast and a way to say that the movie is officially now in production with a release date so far of May 1st of 2026. And I was at work at the time, but I know Anthony, Danny, I think you guys were keeping track of the special way that Marvel decided to announce the cast, right?
Oh yeah, I was at work too, and it lasted that whole, I don't know,
5+ hours.
The majority of the time I was at work, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to, Anthony or Danny, go ahead and explain. If anyone didn't see it or hasn't read a news article about it, and you're getting this first from us, first of all, thank you. But secondly, I'll let the guys go ahead and explain what Marvel did. It's kind of interesting to keep you kind of hooked, but it is a 5-hour hook.
Interesting is definitely a word.
It was a choice. Most certainly a choice.
A choice of all time.
It was a choice of time.
Yeah, I mean, they started off with like the first chair, and you're just seeing Chris Hemsworth, and you're waiting in the live stream, and it's like 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes. I think it ended up being like 12 or 15 minutes, and then you get the next announcement, and then another 12 and 15 minutes, and then you get the next announcement, and that went on for 5+ hours.
Apparently it was every 12. Because
12, yeah.
I think they have an obsession with the number 12.
Oh boy!
Like the number 12 has appeared in other random Marvel projects, so now it's a little Easter egg thing. Yeah.
Peter Quill had 12% of a plan.
Exactly.
Oh my god! And then fun fact about it. There was 27 chairs, obviously, and we'll go through them all shortly. But apparently,
it won't take 5 hours. Just for the record,
we'll do.
Let's say one name every 1 hour.
12 minutes.
One name, 1 hour.
So apparently, this was like their biggest live stream kind of announcement video watch, like view count, and they reached 275 million views.
My goodness,
which is pretty crazy.
And then obviously, dude.
I'm sure the majority of people started it and realized what was happening, and they probably just left it on in the background. Yeah, they're like, oh, we'll see what happens.
I mean, it still gets view counts though.
Yep.
And then obviously, like in Reels and different forms of social media, they did announce, obviously, it is coming out May 1st, 2026, but that it's now in production. So, yeah.
That's
one way to do it.
That's one way to announce it. And, we go through very quickly now. We'll kind of talk about the way what went through each of the little like foldy director chairs. And we got some surprises for sure. But welcome ones.
Yeah. I mean, the first one, when they first showed Chris Hemsworth, at first I was like, Thor 5?
Yeah. Me too.
No one knew No one knew it was a whole cast listing. But then as soon as we got the next one, then we're like, all right, it's Doomsday. Got it.
Yeah, and I was quite surprised because it's a whole thing where, after I think Love and Thunder, I think maybe another project he had, he took a break from acting to try to get some of his health stuff in check. And I totally was cool with it. I was like, yeah, man, like get your stuff done. Like if you watch his little docu-series that he did with
like Limitless, I think.
yes, Limitless
Yeah.
with was it who's the guy? Darren Aronofsky. Yeah, like that was a whole really cool thing, and he found like there was like some certain genetic markers that may tie into like a early onset like mental degradation. So he was really big on that of trying to like get himself straight. So he went and figured out, hey, let me try to go figure this out. So again, that was really really cool to make sure that he can get that in place and get himself going. So I'm really happy for him. So that first one, like, oh, wait, super excited, cool, Chris Hemsworth. Then I don't know if you guys want to take turns going through some of these, but these got very interesting very fast.
Yeah,
sure.
well,
what's the order we want to do? So Xavier,
guys, we totally had this planned out. Yeah,
no,
totally.
let's just
guys,
just wing
absolutely.
it. So,
Anthony,
okay,
you go.
I'll go. Okay, the next one was Vanessa Kirby, Invisible Woman.
Nice. Right after, obviously, we haven't even gotten it. We haven't even got Fantastic Four yet, but we know obviously they're gonna continue.
Yeah, some of this list is a little strange for future movies this year, but
for me, it's like for where Doom goes, usually the Fantastic Four is going to be there. So that can be, that's kind of like okay, I get it, makes sense. So again, great, good for her. I'm pretty sure when they signed up the four, it wasn't going to be just for steps. They're going to be around for all of these, especially considering they're they're Marvel's first family. So they're going to be around a lot, and especially Reed is one of the big brains of all of the Marvel, and now hopefully MCU. And there's a chance he may just take over the big brains of where Tony left off. Who knows?
And then it's also pretty interesting how they decided to order this cast.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Because then you would think, you would just you have someone from the Fantastic Four, just continue with the other three in order.
Yeah, it wasn't like even an alphabetical order or anything. No. Like it was just kind of like, all right, cool. Here's the I don't know if it's like a roll call, casting call sheet or how people or come in to do their scenes. Who knows?
I mean, but I guess they saved the best for towards the end, obviously, like some of the surprises and bigger names. But still, it's interesting choice.
Yeah, absolutely. But then after that, we have Anthony Mackie, your boy Sam Wilson, your boy AKA Captain America. So that's cool to see. We just saw him, so good. He's gonna be around. Maybe this is the whole thing that spurs him. Yeah, we do have to have the Avengers come back, and how do we get people rolling through? Then next, I was delighted to see this. Good, Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier is gonna be there too. We're going to see him hopefully coming up soon in Thunderbolts. He did have his little cameo in Brave New World. That was a lot of fun. And then the next one, again, a little bit of a swerve, but again, a very pleasant surprise. Anthony, take the next one.
Letitia Wright as Shuri / the most recent Black Panther.
Which I'm excited to see again. I really enjoyed Wakanda Forever, so glad we're getting some follow-up to that.
Also one of the big technical brains in the MCU, so I can imagine her working with Reed is going to be a delight, or if Reed working with her is going to be really fun and interesting. It's good to see the big brains kind of interact. That's always fun.
These Avengers movies are great to see, just the team ups that you get. Obviously not the more traditional Oh, okay, like the Fantastic Four, but obviously like the crossing over of teams, which is cool.
Yeah, like that's where these movies come through and have a lot of fun. Like, even with Infinity War and Endgame, you had the whole Thor meeting up with the Guardians, and then you have like the kind of like Guardians and Thor, a bit of a interesting rivalry that showed up that laid the foundation for some of the stuff you saw in Love and Thunder. Then you have some of the other pairings like Spider-Man
like
and Doctor Strange and Iron Man. You're invited to the wedding, Wong. That was great. Yeah, that was a whole lot of fun.
The next one, they had a funny gag with the chairs, because every time they would bring out chair every 12 minutes, you would hear somebody walking toward the camera, and then you would hear them put down a chair, and then the camera would just roll back, and then you'll see the next name on the seat. So this next one is Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, and what they had was a tiny chair next to Letitia Wright that said Ant-Man. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I think as that was going live, like there's a tiny chair for Paul Rudd. I was like, okay, and I think even he made he was on one of the talk shows, and he made a lot of like he brought it up, and so I was like, that's really funny. He's like, it's a tad emasculating, but still pretty fun. That was a crap ton of fun.
What was interesting also is after they did the whole 5.5 hour stream, then they released I think it's like a 1.5 or 2 minute video of just like them showing all the chairs. And during that much shorter video, Ant-Man's chair is normal size. Yeah, it's not tiny anymore. So I guess they filmed that twice, and they had two different chairs.
Or they took a whole bunch of chairs and they just maybe they Photoshop CG'd it, or something like that. And then so from Ant-Man, we then go back over to, again, I'm trying to find a theme here, and it was just like, nah, these seem hella random. At first, I was like,
it seems
maybe
it's very random. Like I don't see anything like any pattern going on here. Towards the end, we get towards the end we get more like back to back to back to back, but yeah, there's definitely some sort of randomness.
I mean, I guess it keeps the surprise, I guess.
I suppose, yeah. Like after this one, after we got Paul Rudd, Zach, who do we get next?
So we got the Captain America clone, Wyatt Russell, as
you mean the US agent? Yeah.
Walmart Captain America. It's the great value Captain America.
Great value Captain America.
And he so he here it shows kind of like this kind of chart that we're looking at. It says that he was last seen in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but technically by the time this movie comes out, we would have seen him in Thunderbolts. Which comes out very soon, actually. It actually comes out when again? Like
next month. Yeah. We're recording this in April, so yeah, next month.
So about a month from now, yeah.
Yep.
He first appeared in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but he'll be appearing again Thunderbolts. So we know at the very least that he survives. Because
kind of a spoiler.
Because apparently there's one character that we don't know if they survive the movie or not.
Oh, I think we all know what happens.
Yeah. I don't even think they're in any more trailers.
Which makes me sad because the character concepts are always really cool. But anyway, moving on. Again, taking it back to Wakanda Forever, we end up getting Tena Puerta for bringing back Namor, which will be cool to see him recover from the fight he had with Shuri. And they're the kind of like detente between...
Continue that story, yeah.
Yeah. The kind of like detente between his underwater kingdom and Wakanda. And that's going to be interesting. And yeah, but look, if we're gonna get comics, Namor, is he just gonna immediately roll up and be like, "Hey, yo, girl, what it do?" Because that's always been a thing in the comics. Because that man, that dude is it's funny I say thirsty because he's from underwater. Yeah, thirsty for Sue Storm, 100%.
And still everything that we've listed so far, and the majority of this list, like they're all pretty much people that have continued from after Endgame, which is like all these recent movies that have come out, like Fantastic Four, Brave New World, Thunderbolts, Black Panther, like 2022 and onwards. So
exactly, yeah. Next up, Anthony. Again,
We
giving it over to.
we got another member of the Fantastic Four, Eben Moss Bacharach, cousin
what a surprise
from the Chef.
You mean cousin? Yeah.
Yeah, the Thing. He's playing the Thing in Fantastic Four. So
Yeah, making sure all the spoons are in order. I'm kidding. No, I'm pretty sure.
Forks?
Yeah, the forks. Yeah, it was the forks. Yeah. No, I really cannot wait to see him as Ben Grimm. Like that's gonna be so much. Like that's gonna be so exciting to see, especially since like Ben, like even like we talked about it in our Fantastic Four, like kind of like our July, like super hype stuff. Like it's so cool. So like I want to see more of that. And it'll be cool to probably see him interact with some of the other like big bruiser powerhouses in this movie, or maybe in some other stuff going through. So it'll be a good case for it to showcase more of what he's got going on. Danny, I know you're excited for this next one. We haven't seen this guy in a hot minute.
I'm hyped for this one. We got Simu Liu back as Shang-Chi.
That's the boy.
nice.
Which that movie was fantastic.
Yeah, they should have made a second one.
I'm sure they
Between-
will.
I know, yeah.
But
Well,
they
they
should have
should've
done
made
it
one,
already.
between when the first one came out to now. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the second one is in the works, or at least like in sort of like conceptual, in the conceptual stage. But yeah, we should have gone maybe one sequel,
feel like-
up until this point, or at least up until the point of the movie coming out.
Yeah, they like
Yeah, but
spread out things too far.
Here's hoping that like the dude is able to like like they give him some standout stuff, and that way more people see hell yeah, like give us Shang-Chi
Like he's
back.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. Watch Shang-Chi end up doing something where he ends up like I would love to where like they may either find more lore behind the actual 10 rings, or he ends up going to the several like various kingdoms of heaven, kind of like with Iron Fist, going through maybe one of those tournaments, and we can get like a real badass like blood sport like the tournament style martial arts movie, but with a whole bunch of people from various various realms, and then at the same time there's a big overarching plot. I just wrote the movie. Holy crap.
nice.
I just want to watch Bloodsport, guys. That's really what it comes down to. And you can have fun callbacks.
So Van Damme will be the bad guy of that movie.
Van Damme could indeed be a bad guy in this movie, and it would be awesome. You have the opportunity to throw in a lot of current and up and coming martial artists wanting to be actors, and be able to do some more showcase, and then have some great stunt work like we saw in Shang-Chi. But enough waxing poetic, because we still got a big old list to go down through. Zach, hit us with the next one.
All right, so we have the next actress here, who is a version of Black Widow, Florence Pugh.
Pew pew.
Pew pew pew. She'll be appearing in Thunderbolts, coming out next month.
So spoiler alert,
Spoilers
she didn't
again.
die.
For real.
Yes, spoiler, she did not die. And I mean, for the Thunderbolts in general, like all these characters, I'm excited to see them be used and have them have their own movie. I'm hoping that movie will end up being a good movie, and then see how they'll play into Doomsday when that comes out.
In general, they seem like a fun team, like group together.
We can't call ourselves that. I cannot wait to figure out I want to see like how the cast's chemistry really plays with the flow of the movie. I hope it's not like too jarring in a sense of like, all right, cool, it's a grinding halt because like they're just kind of like quipping each other into whatever. Like it'll be. I want to check it out. It'll be cool. It'll be a lot of fun.
I feel like the movie's gonna be Avengers with the Expendables, or like a version of that. That's what it feels like.
I think so. I think that's a good plan.
Squad.
Maybe.
Like a Marvel Suicide Squad. We'll see what
well,
Valentina does.
technically, they all
Yeah.
live. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. We'll see what Valentina does. It's not like I mean they're in like hey, you guys are criminals, but we're gonna throw you a bone here. You're gonna be our you know blank Avengers team or like our subbed Avengers team. We don't know
And Valentina is not on this casting list
yet.
So that's
the tricky part.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that later. This next one threw me for a loop. This is where I started getting like ideas and figuring out, oh wait, this is where they're going with this movie. And so this next one came through. Great to see Kelsey Grammer coming back. I'm surprised he wants to take on the makeup, or maybe they'll CGI the body and he'll just be the voice and just maybe his face or anything. But he's coming back as Hank McCoy.
But it's cool because this is also a follow-up to the Marvels, which cool to see.
Which also is interesting because, as well, we've finished the list. I'll talk about some interesting omissions now that we're going to that.
True.
Yeah. After Kelsey Grammer, Anthony hit the next one.
Well, real quick, I want to jump in here and kind of piggyback off of what you said, Xavier. I'm hoping that, because it was the Marvels and it was sort of like a quick little thing, maybe they just wanted to get him in there and shoot the scene and whatnot. Maybe that was just CGI, but I'm hoping when he's in this movie, he'll have a more practical costume.
He's also older, though. I don't think so. He's older, dude.
It's probably going to be mocap and his voice. So, he'll probably be wearing a weird suit doing the acting, but they're just going to CGI over him like they did with Thanos or anybody else.
That could be a bit, then again, Thanos is, almost 10 feet tall.
He's also Josh Brolin.
Beast is
He's also Cable.
Well, Kelsey Grammer is a pretty tall guy too.
He is a tall person, yes, but we don't know. Like they're gonna have to find ways to kind of play around with that,
right? And they could making him CG. They can get away with a lot more because Beast, when he actually fights, he's pretty agile. He kind of like, a monkey jumping around everywhere, and it's hard to do that when you have just like an actor in a costume.
I wonder if we're gonna get like the same look. We should hopefully get the same look that we had on the Marvels, or not, or like has he, his condition. There's times in the comics where his condition degrades a little bit further, and he's more like tiger, animalistic like kind of thing. So
he's always been more feline, or has more feline characteristics than ape like characteristics. I think that was something that X-Men: The Last Stand kind of messed up on. They made him more ape like, but I don't know if he was ever ape like.
Yeah,
maybe in the original comics.
There's various versions in the comics.
Like I know, like in the cartoon, he's kind of ape-like.
Yeah.
In the 90s and 97, in the 90s cartoon and X-Men 97.
Yeah, he's like a blue Sasquatch, but with like pointier hair.
Yeah.
But a kind and gentle soul. Watch X-Men 97. You know what it is.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yes. So, this next one, it's gonna be wild. Anthony? Yeah. I said you got
this one. Okay, so this next one is Lewis Pullman, aka Bob in multiple
movies. It's your boy Bob.
He was Bob in Top Gun Maverick, and now he's Bob, aka the Sentry in the Thunderbolts. And so him being on this list means he's also nothing's gonna happen to him in the Thunderbolts. So kind of weird, but
it's interesting because we have to watch Thunderbolts in order to figure out if he's actually going to be the Void as well, or if he's still just Sentry. So that'll be fun. But Lewis Pullman's great. Like I have a feeling he'll be great. He could be another like powerhouse kind of person if he's similar to what he is in the comics. Danny, who's our next one? I did this on purpose.
Oh, well, we got another Top Gun alumni. We got Danny Ramirez.
That's right. Joaquin Torres, our new Falcon. Repping the 305.
With UM. Yeah.
Yeah.
UM stuff, Miami Heat stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That dude knows what's up. That's cool. That's gonna be fun. Again, to see more like if he wants to really start, dipping his toes where the big boys play. I want to see how he handles it. Like whether if he gets starstruck or he's like, oh man, like imagine if he's like, yo, maybe I can't actually do this. That'd be an interesting little character thing. Zach, hit us with the next one.
All right, the next one, we have another member of the Fantastic Four. This is number 3. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, the Human Torch.
Eddie
who we will
Munson,
see.
the boy.
Yeah, who we will see in Fantastic Four: First Steps.
I can't wait, man.
I know, man.
Having
The movie,
having
I'm
Johnny
so hyped.
like having the personality of Johnny like with all of these other like whatever characters he interacts with. I cannot wait for them all to be like, holy crap, this guy's annoying, or like this guy's such a tool, or like in a way, but like still see the redeeming qualities too. I think it's gonna be really fun.
Kind of like in Gladiator 2, where he was just annoying.
Yeah, but that was like a different annoying. This one's gonna be like, damn, this guy's really full of himself, like annoying.
Like
But
how
like
Chris
he can back it up
Evans-
because yeah, exactly. This next again, we're going more Thunderbolts. We're getting David Harbour. I think more David Harbour is never a bad thing in my opinion. So the way that Red Guardian can show up and do things, great. Could you imagine Red Guardian going having conversations with the next cast list, Anthony?
The next person is Winston Duke, also known as M'Baku.
I'm glad he's coming back.
You mean Elias?
Yeah, Elias from Person of Interest. Also a good
Damn,
show.
dude.
Go watch it.
Yeah, that's where I knew Winston Duke was gonna be somebody, man. Freaking that, and then he shows up in this, and like, dude, he's like the scene stealer now in all the Black Panther projects for sure. So, exactly, really awesome stuff. I want to see who else, like, if he gets outside of like the Wakanda bubble and still like talks with some of these people and just like imagine him like having to hold a conversation with somebody like
Red Guardian.
like Red Guardian or hell even Ant-Man, like just like, dude, what the hell is imagine that would be so nuts. He probably will have more the cool thing at Bucky will have interactions with the Wakanda group because he was there for a while rehabbing mentally, so I can foresee some of that going on. But next up, Danny.
Yep. After M'Baku, we got Hannah John Kamen, which is also another Thunderbolts member who plays Ghost. So
yeah, no, she's busted. This character, if she can like harness the suit right, like she's a busted character. Like I'm just gonna phase through everything. Like I want to see if there's any type of like any
fix or like
energy
any update.
or any energy or like counters to her. Like if there's something like like how like she can phase through stuff, but like can Sue Storm block her because of the force fields? Like can she go through Sue Storm's force fields? That would be nuts.
I'm a little confused by her. Didn't she get healed by Michelle Pfeiffer at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I think healed in the sense that she was unstable. Remember, like it was the instability. I think they stabilized her, and then maybe now it's only handled by the suit, and maybe not so much by her. I don't know, but if not, then it's just her. Like she has that, like in her as that, whatever like enhancement or modification from the experiments. So and maybe she fixed it in the sense that she's just not phasing in and out.
And spoiler alert, she didn't die.
Yeah, she doesn't die in Thunderbolts.
What if all? Yeah, so I'll have some stuff in the moment too to figure out. But this next one went wild. Like I don't know, we've all seen that. We saw the season 2 finale of this, so I'm just like, what is going to happen? I'm freaking out. What the hell? I mean, more of this man is great. You can't always get away with that, but I'm freaking out. Zach, I'll let you do the honors.
All right. So I think one of the best what's it called? Like a brick, like Prince Zuko, a redemption arc. Redemption arc. So like I think one of the best redemption arcs in the MCU, these last God, how long has it been? Like 17 years? Or maybe like 16, 15 years since he first appeared. Tom Hiddleston as Loki returning,
yes,
after the events of the finale of season 2 of Loki. Imagine
if somehow
expected
Thor gets having some conversation with it, or like has an interaction with this Loki. Like, obviously, it's different from the one that he saw die, but like, imagine that if it's just like blows his mind, or he finally gets his like some of that closure. That'll be
nice. That's gonna be a big moment for sure.
and that Loki is not a dick anymore to him.
Not anymore.
And
like
he,
it's
and they get along and they appreciate each other.
Or at least, Loki appreciates his brother, considering now he's like literally the god of stories with keeping an eye out all the entire multiverse right now, which
he literally
ties into. They didn't call him that in the show, but that's the assumption of who he became, right, from the comics.
Correct. Yeah. At this point, it's like since he did become like hey, I am a god, so it's like it's not just a god of mischief anymore. It's like it's now keeping all of these intact. It's being the god of stories, and he is the new like almost like multiversal world tree. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, and then I feel like the way that this movie at least maybe could end, like I would feel like all the big stuff is going to happen towards the end to kind of carry over as a setup for Secret Wars. Maybe he won't even appear until the end, or unless they throw him like somewhere in the middle for like a 2-3 minute cameo to explain something like plot wise,
or just look and say something's wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, and then but he's gonna play a central role to this, since he is sort of like he has time literally in the palm of his hand. Like he has all of time that he has control over, that he can see. So he'll and also the multiverses. So he's gonna be at the center of all of this.
But does he have the power of the sun in the palm of his hand?
In the palm of his hand.
So he's not as cool. He's not as cool as Dr. Octopus.
Power of the sun. I hate you guys.
He just might be better. Doc Ock. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Well, some of the characters that are appearing in this, they are somewhat of being scientists themselves.
Ooh, yes.
I had to. Like there are too many of them. Yeah.
A couple of them are, for sure. Ooh,
absolutely.
I'm just excited for this next part, like for the next few cast members.
It's the next 6.
Right, and I think this the one we're about to say is number 20, and Xavier is going to say this one.
I did this on purpose. I lined this up perfectly. This is where my face started freaking out. The next thing they hit us with was none other than Sir Patrick Stewart. Pretty sure he's knighted, right?
I believe so.
Okay. I whatever. If he isn't, that's stupid. But
I'm sure
Ian McKellen.
Yeah, they're both knighted. Yeah, they're both knighted.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this point they have to.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart coming back as your boy Professor X. Last time we saw a version of Professor X was Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, but I need to know what's going to happen here. Like, is it going to be an older Charles? Like, is it like similar to the Charles we saw in Logan? Is it going to be a de-aged Charles? Which, that might be the case. They might just throw that in there. That blows my mind, guys. Like, I don't know how that's going to happen. But that already got me crazy excited. And then this next one.
Hopefully he doesn't get got again. In another movie. Like,
I don't know, guys.
He's been dying too much lately.
Right. And last time he died pretty easily from Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. I mean, he got mental mind gamed, which is kind of on brand sometimes for Xavier. Like, he goes in there like, I'm going to try my psychic stuff. And then, oops, I underestimated it because I think I'm hot crap, which is on brand. But anyway, to balance out Charles Xavier, we have who else, Anthony? Suspense. We have none other than Ian McKellen coming back as Magneto, which I've always thought was one of the best part. Nah, he's probably doing something. But anyway, we got.
I was on mute. I said it and everything. But I guess I was on mute.
Why are you on mute? Yeah, I stole it from you too. I'll take both. So, you have Sir Ian McKellen coming back as Gandalf. I'm kidding. Coming back as Magneto.
Hey, wait, no, we don't know.
We don't know. Hold on. Magneto the Gray, if anything. Like, come on.
No, he'll be Magneto the White.
The White.
Like,
the Gray one never
Magneto
died.
the Fool.
Yeah, there is a Magneto the Fool. Magneto does have a white costume in the comics, so maybe he'd come back wearing white. Who knows?
Oh
Instead
yeah,
of the
that white costume is sick.
Yeah. That's
Oh my
also
god!
a
If they
skin in.
dude, if they do that, oh my god, that'd be pretty awesome. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, whoa, hold on, you might be onto something.
Yeah, dude. Like I'm just saying because he has that as a skin in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and it's pretty baller. But yeah, white costume Magneto now from the current, like I think they had it when he was in during the whole House of X going on, like revival that was going on. He's wearing freaking white and with a little bit of black accents, and he looks badass. Maybe he'll have that. It's pretty badass. Who knows?
Yeah, I would love to see another costume aside from like the typical dark, like darker colors, black or fuchsia or anything like that. I would like to see maybe something like a white suit for him or the white suit for him. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just insane. Next, Anthony, you get to take this one because
Yes,
X2 had one of the best. Yeah, you had one of the best openers of any movie ever.
Oof.
Yes.
X2.
So we see Patrick Stewart, we see Ian McKellen. We're like, oh man, so they're just like bringing out all the old Fox X-Men folks. The next name was Alan Cumming, who was Nightcrawler in X-Men 2.
Yes, sir.
And he was awesome in that movie, and that opening sequence was amazing. And that's where we got the term BAMF for his teleportation sound effect.
Yeah, you read that in comics, it's just iconic. And it's like, it's so good.
Yeah, him in the movie was great. I kind of sucks that he didn't return for at least the third one after. They didn't explain why he didn't show up, right?
Yeah, I
think he realized he understood what was happening.
This is hard. Yeah, or
the third one wasn't that good.
Yeah, but also Nightcrawler, maybe he went out, just became a priest, go back to his devotion in the church and do his stuff, because he's he's very spiritual, it's like very comics.
And then also riding off the hype of X-Men 97,
more blue.
Yes, it'll be cool to see them do some updated effects with Nightcrawler.
Yeah. More blue. And next cast, again, I keep saying more blue because a whole lot coming through. Zach, next up.
All right, we have the lovely, the beautiful, the wickedly talented.
Oh my god!
I'm joking.
Adele Dazeem.
Someone mute him now.
But in all seriousness, we have the amazing Rebecca Romijn coming back as Raven Darkholme, otherwise known as Mystique, the shapeshifter. Last time we saw her was technically X-Men First Class for like a 3-second cameo. Which
I want the real Raven. I said the real Raven.
Yes, that meme exactly. because this person, I guess whoever did this chart had her as Last Stand. I guess sure, but she was in First Class for like 3 seconds. And I want to add, because given that Nightcrawler is going to be in this movie too, I hope in some way, like, because they haven't done it even in the Fox universe, that they make the connection between Nightcrawler and Mystique, because in one version of the comics, or at least in a lot of versions of the comics, he is her son.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
That's why he has the blue skin, but he has the powers of Azazel, another teleporter that we see in First Class, he's red.
And Deadpool and Wolverine.
And him too, yeah. That's true. Yeah, he was there.
In that, there
too. It was just a different actor, I think.
Yeah, different actor. A lot of them were different actors, which I didn't know for some time. But yeah, I'm hoping that they do make that connection, because they did do something like that with Quicksilver and Magneto in Days of Future Past and Apocalypse, but not really like going into it like that. So I'm hoping that with these two characters, they finally connect the two like they are in the comics. That'd be nice to see.
Yeah. And then, we're talking about more excitement and surprises. This one, because, riding the high of, again, hanging out with more blue characters in the Sonic franchise. Dude, James Marsden coming back as Cyclops. I hope there's redemption for this dude because this man deserves. Yeah, this man deserves it.
You want to know why? You want to know why Alan Cumming was not in X-Men 3?
Because
he read the part where, spoilers if you haven't seen X-Men 3, where Cyclops dies off screen. That's why.
By like a Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey. And I was like, it's garbage. I hated it. I was like, this character needed more. Like, I needed him to yell Jean more, like in the cartoon. But also, like, now when you see X-Men... Jean! Now, like, running off the high of X-Men 97, dude, Cyclops is
the leader of X-Men?
Yeah, dude, like, Cyclops is a badass. Like, it's, like, put some respect on this dude. And there's this whole thing in the comics in the past where, Cyclops was right after, the X-Men Avengers arc. Like, there's a whole thing, like, or even I think before that, where it's just like, hey, like, Cyclops was right. Like, this is a dude who's, like, going all in to help protect mutant kind, like, almost, like, taking more the Magneto side as opposed to balancing Charles's vision. So having James Marsden come back is such a delight. I really hope they give him more of a presence instead of just like, hi, I'm here and bye. Like, I want this man to shine. It'll be amazing. Please.
Yeah.
Make
us happy. Give him a moment. Give him a good moment.
No, give him a good chunk of the movie.
Give him a few.
No, of course, but
yeah, you need like him interacting with Sam Wilson, interacting with some of the other heavy hitters. That would be that's what we're looking for, man. That's what we need.
Because the way that they at least in Bryan Singer's films, they didn't. He was underutilized. They didn't do much really. I don't know if it was because maybe in some aspects he could be seen as being too powerful, so they nerfed him a lot. I don't know what the reasoning could be, but
it's Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. That's the answer.
Yes,
Jackman's Wolverine. Yep. But anyway, here talking about redemptions, Anthony. Who's up next?
The next one.
Yeah.
The next one is Taylor Kitsch. I mean, no, I'm sorry. It is Channing Tatum returning as Gambit.
Oh my god, we can't wait.
Dude, that boy
he's gonna make a name for himself.
Exactly. You know how long he's been waiting for this?
Dude, I cannot wait, dude. Imagine Gambit interacting with some of these other characters, like
Ant-Man. Oh my god, like I can picture Ant-Man and I can picture Ant-Man and like
Thor.
Chris, with Thor. Oh my god.
No, Gambit and Johnny Storm. Gambit, Johnny Storm is what I'm looking forward to seeing.
Oh, that too. That would be like having this.
Oh my god, no, Louisiana. Louisiana? No, like Sam Wilson and Remy LeBeau, like they're both from Louisiana. Like, come on.
Like, that'd be nice, like little, kind of like Spider-Man saying like oh, from Queens, and Cap's like Brooklyn, kind of like that,
dude.
Something like that, like a nice little moment like that, but also like just to see them interact and talk about, maybe have Sam make fun of his accent.
Yeah, just be like, oh my god, you're real. Yeah. Wait, who let the Cajun in? Like, yeah, I don't know, something. That'd be really fun. So Danny, this next one's kind of a given because given the title of the movie.
What at this point you were gonna be like, wait, did he die? Does he die?
No, I mean, hey.
But of course we have the Mr. Fantastic with Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, like if you had the first three, there's no way you're not going to have. Yeah. Again, you're not going to have Fantastic Four. You're not going to not have Fantastic Four in a movie where Doctor Doom is supposed to be like the big bad of the movie. I'm really hoping to see how that ties into it. If there's a case where they know of Doctor Doom beforehand, we don't know. We have to watch First Steps to see what the hell's happening.
I mean,
especially with these movies being in production now, like. Maybe there's like, the zinger at the end that like kind of like ties it all together. We don't know. It's going to be wild.
And this has been the closest like pattern-ish to the reveal. We've had all the X-Men's all grouped up. And then we have obviously Mr. Fantastic, and then finally Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, because those two seem to be the pair.
Yeah,
together,
and wasn't it?
so.
And wasn't it at the end of the whole like stream everything? Like the last chair was RDJ in the chair.
Yeah, he walks up and you see him slowly get into the camera and then sit down and do like a reveal. So that was a cool way to end it. Also with the music too. I think while he was coming in, there was some hype music. So
yes, that was pretty awesome. Like that was very, 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 very cool.
And that took 5 hours.
Yeah, and we did it in like, I don't know, 30 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more. Yeah.
And then real quick here in a second, we'll go through some of the notable missing characters. Well, at least for right now that haven't been announced. Because obviously there's going to be more or probably some cameos and they're not going to reveal everything. But just before we go through some of the missing ones, I just wanted to mention that today was Marvel's CinemaCon announcement.
Oh, really?
And Kevin Feige on stage revealed two things. First one, which is kind of a given, but he did say the Avengers, Wakandans, the Fantastic Four, the Thunderbolts, and the X-Men are all fighting Doctor Doom.
Nice.
And then
gotta be a big boy team.
He said the entire cast hasn't been revealed yet.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
So a few years ago, I think when like they first announced that they were doing a Secret Wars movie, back then there were rumors that said like there's going to be around 60 to 70 characters in this movie. And I think also they said the same thing roughly about the King Dynasty back when they were doing the King Dynasty. Obviously now things changed and now it's Doomsday. And maybe days before or the day before this announcement came out, there were rumors that mentioned like there's going to be around 50 to 60 names for Doomsday. And so then the next day this announcement happens and there's only 27. And so a lot of people online were like, so we're still missing maybe like another 27.
Yeah.
Like maybe like another 30 people.
But I'm kind of glad they did reveal a bunch of them because obviously now they could film and kind of like, be okay with at least the major ones, but still keep everyone else a surprise. That'll be nice. Hopefully they could keep things hidden. And then
I think another rumor is that these 27 are the ones that are 100% for sure. Like they already signed their contract that they're going to be in this movie. So it's possible that
that's true.
There's a bunch of others, but they're maybe unsure yet. And that's why they haven't announced it yet.
And then could you imagine what they're going to do to announce Secret Wars?
Oh my god. That's going to be nuts.
A 10-hour video.
Just to blow your mind a little bit. So this movie started production and it's slated to come out next year. We might have a trailer for Doomsday by the end of this year.
We might. A
Possibly.
teaser. Tease and a tease.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe like
I
November,
could see them
December.
do something maybe like November, December. Just getting ready for the new year.
Yeah, no, this is some exciting stuff, guys. Like we have so far, we're talking about the people who haven't totally been announced yet. Like there's still, some other big heavy hitters like, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, Hulk, maybe some of the new
Marvel.
Guardians may or may not show up. Will Poulter's, would love to see more Adam Warlock, especially considering, some of these other things that went about. If Scarlet Witch is or isn't alive, like, we'd love to see some of that happening. Maybe
Monica Rambeau, if she's gonna be in the universe with the X-Men.
With the X-Men, yeah.
Then I'm assuming she has to be in it.
Yeah, like my whole thing is like, where like because they're bringing in the X-Men and you have the Avengers. Like, oh, what if it's like at first, the X-Men and Avengers fight each other, kind of like they did in like the fight in Civil War, and then it's like, oh no, like Fantastic Four shows up, is like, hey, you guys are stupid, stop. Doctor Doom is over here. We got to stop him.
I'm a little confused because where they ended in the Marvels and they showed Beast and so it's clearly another universe with X-Men in it.
Yeah.
Are they gonna just say that is the Fox X-Men universe and that's also where Deadpool comes from? Is that what they're gonna do, or is Deadpool and like the movie Deadpool Wolverine take place in another universe?
I don't
we
know. We
that?
don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't think we know that. No, we just know that is a universe where the X-Men exist because you saw the X-Door, Beast showed up. Obviously, it's like another version of Maria
Xavier.
Rambeau. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they mentioned Professor Xavier. Like this is probably where that connection comes into play. So yeah, I'm hoping Photon comes through because she might be like part of the bridge that gets the Avengers back. Sorry, the X-Men over to our universe. Who knows? Anyway. A lot of exciting stuff going down. So we have a year to kind of like stew over. We have some other projects that we're able to see. So here's hoping that some good stuff comes through.
Comic-Con's in July, so we might get more info in July.
And lastly, also just coming out of CinemaCon, Doomsday will start filming in a couple days.
Ooh.
A couple of days from when, Danny? What if our listeners are totally listening to this way later for their sheer curiosity?
We're in April 3rd, so I'd assume a couple days means Monday the 7th.
Monday sounds like a good day. Hey, we're starting on a Monday.
Yeah.
Make sure everybody's in tip-top shape.
So that'll be fun to see.
Yep.
That's crazy. And it's coming out when? In May of next year?
May of next year.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Just hoping,
yeah. 3 maybe 4 months to film, and then another like 7 months of post-production.
And then there's gonna be time. They need to have time for reshoots. They always do reshoots.
Oh yeah, there's gonna have to be reshoots.
And so you need time to do reshoots and then time to do post-production on those reshoots. If you don't want it to look janky.
Yeah, we don't want it to look like, the Justice League or those other things that there's a lot of, or like any of the Sony movies.
Oh yeah. We don't want that.
We don't want a Madam Web ADR Butcher Fest at all. Oh man. So guys, yeah, this is gonna be pretty insane. I cannot wait. Talking about this is kind of just stewing in some of the excitement. We got to have our big blockbuster popcorn movies here on the Popcorn Watch List. So be nice to get more news whenever it happens. We're very much finger on the pulse of what's going on with this movie. And because the excitement's really there. We want to see good stuff come from it. And here's only hoping that we get some of the quality we're getting. I mean, we have heavy hitters now, and even more heavy hitters, like in terms of, the acting is there. Just got to make sure that, it all comes together well enough.
Yeah, I mean, we're all pretty excited and just waiting. Now we have to wait a year for this movie to come out. And then Spider-Man 4 comes out afterwards in July of next year.
Yep. Brand new day. That's going to be cool too.
So they're oh no, they changed, right?
No homes.
So it was all
homes.
Home. Yeah. So now it's gonna be day now?
Now it's gonna be days. Yeah.
It's gonna be day.
Brand new Doomsday. That's what it is.
Yeah, Doomsday, brand new day. We gotta have the days looking shining bright. Anyway, with that, folks, we are good to go. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you also have some of the excitement, if there's some other stuff that you are hoping to see, definitely let us know in our comments, social media pages, and your podcast platform of choice. If there's other things you want us to let us know, feel free to give the shout out, give the suggestion, and we can talk about it next time. But until then, We hope to kind of give you some other cool stuff. Maybe all collectively watch a movie, and we'll give us our thoughts on it for next time. But until that next time, keep that popcorn hot and fresh. And thank you so much for tuning in.
Later.
See ya.
Okay.